Hello, sir. Good afternoon. A very warm welcome to you on the Time College Dunia on this episode of Thoughts on Education.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. And thank you for having me here, Samarth. Looking forward to the interaction.
For our viewers, let me just introduce Professor Unyal to everybody. Professor Dwarika Prasad Unyal, he's the Dean of the School of Business, Prem University. Professor Unyal comes with rich and varied experience of more than 20 years in premier academic institutions and industry. His last assignment was with IIM Kashipur as Assistant Dean, where he headed the Dehradun campus and managed the complete spectrum of education. He was one of the founding faculty members of IIM Kashipur and was instrumental in scaling up its operations. In an academic career spanning over 2 decades, Professor Unyal has taught at premier business schools like MICA Ahmedabad, SPJIMR Mumbai, and SPJN School of Global Management in Dubai. We are very happy to have you on the panel today, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, with your kind permission, shall we start with the interview?
Please go ahead.
Okay. So, sir, being the Dean of School of Business, Prem University, what changes have you implemented in the course curriculum of MBA in marketing?
We have instituted a whole process to do this. We have taken the feedback from industry. We have taken the feedback from our existing students. We've taken the feedback from alumni. We took the feedback of our current faculty. We also mapped the curriculum of top 10 business schools in India, including IIMs, SPJN, MICA, and others. We also looked at the curriculum of some of the top institutions abroad as well. And then within the larger framework of liberal education, because FLAME is known for liberal education, both at an undergraduate and a postgraduate level, we wanted to bring those elements to management education, which are typically missing in a standard MBA curriculum. When I looked back at the curriculum, we realized that we had certain gaps. We tried to fulfill some of those gaps through experiential learning and others. So there are 3 components of the curriculum. One is knowing, second is doing, and third is being. Now, in the knowing part, we had made the curriculum a lot more rigorous. What we had done is across the board, we offer 5 specializations: marketing, finance, human resources, operations, analytics, and entrepreneurship. Now, in each one of them, what we have done is that we have made the curriculum in a T-shaped manner, wherein in each specialization, there should be enough breadth for them to understand the broad contours of general management. At the same time, when the student pick up the curriculum in the major side of it, it goes a lot deeper. That is one. Secondly, what we have done is that previously, students would pick up their majors and minors only in second year after they have finished their first year and gone through the summer internship. What we have done is that we have forwarded that particular process to term 4 itself, which means by end of the term 3, all general management components are over. And by term 4, students would start getting into their majors. If you picked up marketing, you start getting into some of the courses in marketing. If you picked up finance or human resources, similarly, they will start taking those subjects. So the decision is kind of preponed. And there is a reason behind it, because a lot of the students end up doing their summer internships in their intended areas of majors. So we wanted them to have some bit of understanding of their majors, some core subjects in the majors, and so that when they go and do their internship, they are better prepared. We have also introduced more experiential learning courses within the framework and make them credited courses. So there are courses on design thinking, there are courses on mental models, there are courses on analytics, there are courses on theater, there are courses on leadership. So a lot of practical oriented subjects have gotten into. Third, we have also introduced a very interesting immersion program called Business Immersion, which is over and above the summer internships the students do. So they actually pick up certain problems from the industry and solve them, and they go into field work and field visits. We have to see in the COVID era, how do we go about doing it? But this is the intention, that they should be spending a lot more time in the field over and above what they're doing in the campus. And the being part, a lot of liberal education subjects like sociology, psychology, public policy, theater, music, dance have been incorporated and strengthened from the previous curriculum. So these are the major changes what we have done. At the same time, we are also making a small change in terms of their final semester, final term, wherein if you picked up marketing, we are offering you certain career tracks. So you want to get into FMCG, you want to get into media and advertising, or you want to get into luxury marketing, you want to get into analytics. Similarly in finance, if you want to get into something like fintech or value investing, or from operations, you want to get into business analytics side of it, or you are into human resources, would you like to get into consulting, or you want to get into HR analytics? So we have created curated a portfolio of subjects which will be offered to them next academic year, which will be super specialization in that sense. So then they can actually make their career in a much more designated path and pick up their internship or pick up projects and all those things. Over and above this, we run a consulting company on campus called Vajra, wherein students take up real life assignments and get paid for solving it for the corporates. And last, we have a capstone called Drivers, where they work with MSMEs and SMEs in and around Pune, and do offer consulting services to them for 2 terms, and actually learn to do what they've already picked up in their theory classes. So it's more on the doing side of it. So the triangle of knowing, doing, and being is being used to strengthen the curriculum. And I'm sure this is one of the best curriculums in the top business schools in the country. It's comparable to anybody.
Right. Great, sir. So what challenges did you face while designing the whole curriculum of this business program, of the MBA program, right?
Many challenges. First of the challenges, of course, of the legacy, because we've been running a program for many years and which was established. So bringing any change would require building a consensus among all the stakeholders, students, faculty, board, my own curriculum committee members and others. But over a period of time, we were able to convince that this is needed. Though at the same time, we didn't want to create a completely new or give a knee-jerk reaction to the curriculum. A lot of good things were already being done at Flame. All I needed was to provide a more focus to it, making it more rigorous. At the same time, in MBA program, one of the biggest challenges you face is that we are always behind the industry. So whatever we would create in curriculum, by the time we'll implement it, industry has already moved 4 years ahead, 5 years ahead. So how to create a curriculum which is, in sync with industry by the time every changes are happening. So curriculum has to be flexible.
Right.
The whole contours are still there, but it should have, a structure wherein whatever new things are happening from industry. So it's not just the broad contours of curriculum, but how the curriculum is delivered is also important. The devil in the detail. So even if we created a specialization or a track, we are ensuring that every subject, every practical subject, every specialization subject which is being taught by my esteemed colleagues and professors at Flame should be complemented by industry input and workshops. So at least 30 to 35%, like if you have a 30-hour course, at least 10 hours are to be delivered by industry people. And that brings a lot more cutting edge to the program itself. So the challenges are that how to keep it relevant, how to ensure that everybody is on board, how to ensure that students find value. Challenges also to bring industry on board. So thankfully, I've taught, as you mentioned in my intro, to many top business schools in the country. So their alumni are very close to me. I'm fortunate that they still treat me as their older professor. And whenever I reach out to them, they always help me out with their input. So many of them who happen to be in the CXO positions today had given a great input. At the same time, we also get it vetted by some international experts from Kelly School, from Manchester Business School, from from Worcester Polytechnic and few other top institutions. So we also got our curriculum vetted by the top academic people from abroad as well. So, but challenges were there in terms of convincing everybody that it is needed. At the same time, how to make it relevant and cutting edge, yet not disturbing the overall architecture of the program, because it was set and it's a good architecture. So you don't want to completely destroy a building and may build new one. What you can do is that how to strengthen the foundation of the existing one. At the same time, how do you build layers over what's already there and make it better?
Right, sir. So when you first came to Flame University, what was your vision for the college and has it evolved over time? And how far along in implementing that vision are you currently?
Right. So I did come from a different setup. I came from an IIM, which has a very standard format of doing programs. They don't have to worry about good quality of students. They don't have to worry about retaining the faculty or attracting the best talent. At the same time, they don't have to worry too much about getting consulting from industry. So I had three focus areas when I came to Flame. One was to strengthen the undergraduate BBA program within the larger framework of liberal education. Also, revamp the MBA program and make it more relevant for industry. Third, create alumni connect. It was missing for various reasons amongst the postgraduate students. It was very well established in the undergraduate students. So I was a newcomer. My colleagues were already there for last 10 years. They knew my students. I did not know those Flame students. I've never taught at Flame. Though I knew my students from SPGen or MICA or IIMs or other places, the Flame students or Flame alumni was completely unknown to me. So I made attempts to interact with them, go to alumni meets, have personal networks and connections so that, alumni is the best, and then start to bring them on campus, provide opportunities for them to interact with both undergraduate and postgraduate students. Second was how to make Flame an aspiration for people who are coming to do their MBA in Pune. So the whole challenge was to how do you, compare yourself with the top business school in Pune like the Symbiosis and others, and also make Flame equally aspirational. So we have worked a lot in the admissions. We beefed the admissions process. We made changes in admissions process. We started looking at a well-rounded selection process of profile-based selection process. I brought that whole idea of profile-based, where we not just look at their CAT and XAT scores, but we also look at their graduation marks. We also look at what extracurricular they have done in their graduation and 12th. What are the newness they're trying to bring in? I wanted to bring people with WorkX also. So we have succeeded in bringing at least 30% of the batch, which has got relevant WorkX. At the same time, the challenge was also to have corporate connects both in Bombay and in Pune, so that they start coming to campus, they start looking at summer internships for our students, they start hiring our students. So boost up for the corporate connect was also very much needed. And last but not the least, attracting a good quality faculty to Flame. I think that was very well needed. And also research driven, because there was a larger mandate from the university to make it a lot more research oriented. So how do you encourage your faculty? How do you inspire your faculty to write, cutting edge research papers in top journals academically? At the same time, also write thought pieces, also engage. So I personally wrote a lot. You have to lead from the top, I'm a published author in my earlier avatar as an academic. I've got a best-selling book in retailing. So you showcase some of your work. You showcase, you engage with them in conversation. There are a lot of young faculty we would have hired in the last 3 years who are fresh PhDs from top places. Also handhold them, teach them how to teach pedagogically, give them enough confidence that we are there to support them. What you need to do is build a culture of merit, yet at the same time, have a human face to it. You need to have empathy. So I'm of the belief that the dean needs to be 24/7 accessible to my students, either undergraduate or postgraduate, whether I'm teaching them or not. So I actually pushed myself to teach a lot. I didn't expect myself to be teaching that much, but I ended up teaching a lot of UG2s, UG3s, PG1s, and PG2s. So I'm not supposed to teach as much, but I ended up doing because my connect will only happen when they see me as their teacher first and later on as their dean. I engage with a lot of activities with students. So they know that, the dean is a call away. They can just walk into my room. They can just ping me on. Nowadays, we are doing only on Zoom. So they can ping me anytime and can reach out to me for their professional issues, personal issues, or whatever, So you need to be accessible. Same thing, I've made it to my faculty. I'm very accessible to my faculty. And I interact with them on all media, WhatsApp, email, not to intimidate them, of course, but to be accessible to them all the time. I have some very, very senior faculty members who are much senior and older to me, and I respect them a lot. And the job is also to first inspire and engage with the younger faculty, at the same time also engage with senior people and make them feel wanted, give enough respect to them, and take their advice. They are there. They've seen it much more than I would have. I've got colleagues who got 30 years of work ex, 40 years of work ex. The senior people who started their career in the time I was born. There's a wealth of knowledge which exists within my faculty fraternity. And, you engage with them and take their advice and their wise counsel, which I keep doing. I reach out to them sometimes I have got trouble. I reach out to some of my senior people, and they're very, very senior, and then they love to give their ideas and thoughts. We are very respectful towards each other. And I think that's the way academic institution should be built on trust, on empathy, and on mutual respect.
Right. So, how do you ensure that the students are getting prepared for the future while pursuing the course from Flame University?
Okay, 2-3 things. First, especially at an MBA level, you have to break them and then remake them.
Right.
Let me explain you what I mean. A lot of them do come from a mindset of taking life easy. Okay. Because they've not gone through a tough undergraduate program. They're hardworking, but they're not used to working hard all the time. Because typically in a university system, which is Flame, of course, is a very different residential rigorous undergraduate program, but many of my students don't come from that regimental rigorous program. So first, you really have to make sure that they're ready for that rigor. Because any MBA program, if you know some of it, is a very rigorous program. 24/7, you sleep less, you're always busy. We push you hard through your academics, we push you hard through your co-curricular and extracurricular activities and so on and so forth. So first thing is how to make their mind ready is very, very important. That is to deal with it. Second is that they come from a very diverse background. Somebody is good in mathematics, somebody is good in humanities, somebody is good in accounting. An MBA program teaches you everything. So, sometimes you lose out marks, your grades are low. How do you pull yourself up? So how do you train yourself? How do you actually give them hand-holding and enough confidence that, yes, you might have, scored less in one subject, but don't worry, there are, 36 subjects in a year or more than that. You will pull up yourself. So give them enough confidence. That is one. Second is to make them believe that this is not just a taught program. It's not just one degree. It's a training program. You have to train yourself like the NDA or an IMA or another place. You have to train yourself in 18 months to become a professional manager. So that training is very critical, and that doesn't happen overnight. Just by getting into the class, attending a class, getting into good grades, that doesn't happen that way. You need to continuously invest time and effort on yourself. You need to, look at your body language. You need to look at your spoken ability. You have to work on your subject knowledge. You have to build your portfolio of activities, live projects. You have to participate in competitions. You have to build your resume. You need to have a great story to tell the companies who are coming on campus. So that training is very much needed, and that has to go over and beyond what is happening at the curriculum level. So we actually engage with external third-party experts to build their resumes, to build their group discussion abilities, build their interview abilities, public speaking abilities. Personality grooming is very much important for us because how would you present yourself? It's very important. You might be knowing a lot, but if you're not being able to convince yourself in a much more pleasant manner to the recruiter, they make decisions, split-second decisions about you, and so much of your work just goes waste if you are unable to present yourself in the manner you are being expected to. And that professionalism is like every single day. It's like the drip. It just goes like tap, tap, tap. That's where you have to train yourself. 18 months, every single day you have to ensure that are you better next day than your previous version of yourself.
Right.
All of us do that. Today when I'm talking to you as a dean, I was never like this when I started, right? I was a research assistant 23 years ago, and I started my career like this. I slowly became a faculty and then trained myself how to go about teaching, how to go about doing. And then very early in my life, I became an administrator at SPGN Dubai, and then later on, at OP Jindal as well. I think it's how you train yourself. Nobody makes you a dean. Nobody is born a dean, right? You have to train yourself. Similarly, nobody is born a manager. You have to train yourself every single day. How do you take decisions, for example? How do you stand by those decisions? How do you prepare yourself when the company is coming to the campus? How do you prepare yourself mentally and subject-wise, personality-wise? How do you keep? How to deal with failure? This is very critical of Samarth, because a lot of times we train people, bring leadership coaches and others, and they will tell you how to succeed. But then not everybody succeeds the first time. There are students who would not crack an interview even after fourth company has come, fifth company has come. How do you deal with failure? How do you, pull yourself up every time, your batch is getting placed, you're stuck. And these are cases. It happens with best of the people. All of us have got rejections in our lives. All of us got, So how do you deal with that? How do you deal with rejection? How do you deal with failure? How do you pull yourself up? That requires a lot of hand-holding, talking. And thankfully, I have my colleagues who provide that support. All of us pride that we are the listening posts and guide by the side. We are not the preachers. We are not the sage on the stage. We are the guides by the side. So I think that is very much needed. As an ecosystem, we develop for our students. And I think over a period of time, they will see the benefit of it. And when they go back and crack it, like these are tough times, COVID times, you're not getting a job, or companies have revoked your job offer you were waiting for. How do you deal with this? You have to keep on looking at positive side of it. I get calls from students who passed out 3 years back, and they seek some guidance. They're flame students. And then you keep them motivating. It's tough in these times, but then you have to keep telling them, looking back your history, saying that there was a 2008, there was something into 99 also, you've seen it. So at least I have the benefit of looking in the hindsight and retrospectively and say, these were the times those students had also faced like this. Maybe these are tougher times for you, but you will also prevail. So don't worry, look at the positive side of it. Keep doing extra work, keep doing extra courses, prepare yourself, do something else, even if the jobs are not coming by. When the jobs are coming by, prepare yourself so that you're ready. Third, the most focus in this age group is that they are more Instagram centric.
Right. So
how do you make them LinkedIn centric? That's a challenge. So I keep telling them, sometimes they want to follow me on Instagram. And I said, I'm a useless guy on Instagram. I'm a better guy on LinkedIn. So follow me and connect me on LinkedIn, because then I can open up a door to you, to my older students who happen to be from some of the top business schools in the world. That's where it will make sense for them to do that. And I think they've learned it. They're very active on LinkedIn now. They're writing articles on LinkedIn. They're engaging with top CEOs on LinkedIn. They're commenting on their articles. That's how you engage yourself. That's how you're able to portray. For example, like some top Tata guy writes an article, right? Harish Bhatt writes an article about Tata's legacy. Some students read up because I would have shared it. And they have a point of view which might be divergent to what Mr. Bhatt is saying.
Right.
And that's why you make, and those guys would read it, right? Oh, wow, this person has written a counter to what my hypothesis is. And where is this person? Oh, this is she or he is a student at Flame University. Suddenly, the mindset, they might not have heard of us, but suddenly they know, oh, what is this Flame University? Oh, liberal arts, MBA, very good. And that's how you build it. That's how you build it. You don't build, you don't become an overnight brand, right? That takes a process to continuously, consistently keep doing that.
Right.
Consistency is the key. Consistency.
So, on the closing note, any suggestion that you would like to give to the current youth and the aspiring students who want to pursue their MBA in this year or maybe next year or in the years to come?
First and foremost, don't see this as a degree.
Right.
See this as an inflection, life-changing point in your life. Whatever you've done in the past is okay. If you've done great, build on it. If you've not done great, this is the time you can change your life, the destiny. You can change your destiny. So see it as a life transforming program, not just in any other degree your parents have asked you to do. Very, very critical. Why do you want to do an MBA? I interview a lot of people and they keep telling me all kinds of stories and they don't stick. You need to do an MBA program for the right reason. You need to be very, very clear what will you do when you come to the program. Then you also need to ensure that those 2 years, 18, 19 months, you are focused on it. I'm not saying, don't enjoy your life and campus and party and all that stuff. Do it. But at the same time, ensure that your focus is very clear. Third is when you come to campus, explore everything. Do everything. Read whatever comes your way. Last but not the least, create something. Create a portfolio of activities. Create, a company on campus. Do something where you can practice what you're learning. And I keep motivating students to do startups on campus, either undergraduate or postgraduate, mostly postgraduate. I tell them because, if you succeed, you have 2 years to do this. You got great infrastructure. Any college, any good business school will have great infrastructure. You've got some amazing teachers. Flame even better because we have one of the best campuses in the whole country. You've got great library. You've got mentors. So what is needed for startup here? You tell me, Samar. What is needed? You need infra, which is available. You need free Wi-Fi, internet available. You need talent, truckload of talent within your class. So you can find out co-founders, people. Then guidance, you have got all faculty, mentors, everybody. You got library resources, you got everything. So then why not do it? And why? Because if you succeed out of campus, you don't need a job, right?
Right.
You might find, and that's why our entrepreneurship program pushes people into doing this.
Then you might be in a position to create jobs.
Even hire your batchmates,
Right.
Hire your batchmates first. Second, if you fail, which is a higher probability that you might fail, it's okay. If you fail, in 2 years, you've got a great story, great narrative on your CV to tell the recruiter. The recruiter will say, "Acha batao, tumne 2 saal mein kya kiya?" Right? And if you can say, "Sir, मैंने ये 40 course पढ़े, मैंने ये specialization किया, मैंने ये किया." Great story. Of course, they can say, "Look at your CV." But you say, "Sir, I know I did a startup with my friend. I tried this and we failed, and this is our story of failure." Who do you think they will hire?
Obviously, a startup guy who actually tried something instead of a guy who didn't try.
Exactly. That's where I keep saying. I keep telling everybody. That's my message to everybody who wants to do an MBA program. Irrespective of whether you want to eventually do a job and all that, perfectly fine. But do something on campus which can stand out. So that's my message to them.
Right. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for your for your valuable insights. It was great and enriching experience talking with you, and I look forward to more such sessions. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Samarth. It was a pleasure talking to you, and I hope that you and your team stay safe. And my message to all the students who will be joining MBA program this year, that it's a great time to come in because economy is on the recovery, and we are looking at a V-shaped recovery for the economy. So by the time you pass out in 2023, you will have a great career ahead. So all the best, and God bless to all of you.